Michael Oliver giving 2 yellow cards and then a red. Have a look at that. So Martinelli involved there with the throw-in, a shoulder barge there. Overcomes the referee. He says, look, come here. First one and a second one. You're off. What do you make of it, guys?
He wants to be in the news, the ref, doesn't he? I was so harsh. I get the first one. I think the first one you can go, yeah, that could be a booking. It's trying to slow play down. But the second one, especially in the same sequence and phase of play, I just feel that it's... I don't think it warrants. It don't warrant another yellow card. No chance.
I'm with Rio. I think the first foul, obviously the referee obviously tried to play advantage, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then it's a shoulder barge, a push. I think it's harsh. You know, I think Peter Walton mentions the spirit of the game. You know, I suppose by the letter of the law it's correct. But really, I'm not so sure. 1 yellow card for me is sufficient in that situation.
But there's 2 fouls.
Yeah.
Look, I'm totally aware that I'm not the ex-player in the room, by the way. But from a non-former player's perspective, I look at that and think, well, he's fouled him and then he's fouled him again.
And both are bookings.
It's up to the, you know...
I get it, yeah.
OK, you can probably argue the second one's a bit softer, but it's 2 yellows.
Yeah, I don't think the principle is wrong. That if you make 2 yellow card offences, I don't think it's wrong to actually say, hang on a minute, so you're going to get a red. But when it happens so close and they're not absolutely guaranteed yellow cards each, I thought on balance one's
enough. You're not looking at them 2 incidents there and going, the first one I'd say, yeah, I can see where the yellow card comes from, but the second one is highly debatable. Is it even a booking? Yes, it's a foul, but it's not a booking. No chance. You can't, even when it's in an isolated situation on its own, I wouldn't say so.
I think I've heard referees in the past, I'm not sure what Peter Walton would say, but the second yellow card has got to be of a higher tolerance than the first.
Oh, he's here, actually.
So I think on that situation there, as Real, explains, the second one is a dubious yellow. It's not even at the tolerance level where it should be a definite yellow card. Therefore, 2 yellows equaling a red.
Peter?
Well, what can I say? In law, Michael Oliver, the referee's done nothing wrong. The first one there is a clear yellow card. He's pushed Podence over, trying to stop him taking a quick throw-in. Michael Oliver shows the advantage with his arm being raised, shows he's playing the advantage from that particular instance here. You can see his arm raised there. He's going to go back in caution. And Martinelli then barges the Wolves player in the back, which stops a promising attack. And a promising attack in law is a yellow card. So I can understand... I can understand where you're coming from.
To score from there, Pete, he's got to produce Diego Maradona-type skills.
Well, yes, I know, but it's not...
There's bodies and bodies there. There's loads of people there to get past.
I know that, but it's not the individual. It's the stopping that promising attack from the Wolves team. So, look, we can say it's going to be harsh, and it's harsh because it's very unusual to see that. However, nothing wrong in law. I think Michael Oliver there, in the context of that game, felt that Martinelli deserved the 2 yellows. Personally, if you're asking me, well, I'll have to be out there on the field refereeing it to see what's happening, but nothing wrong in law there.
No, Pete, you can see it on the TV. Would you have given 2 yellows in that situation?
Well, certainly the first one. The second one, I've got to look at the covering defenders. I've got to see if that is a promising attack. If I felt it was a promising attack, yeah. There's a bit of petulance there, for Martinelli, and he'll learn.
Well, answer the question. Was it a yellow card? The second one is a simple question. Yes or no?
Well, in isolation, yes, it was.
Oh, come on, Pete.
Look, you asked me the question. In isolation,
well, you've took you 5 minutes to answer it.
Only because I was trying to explain the law. Nothing wrong in law. Now it's interpretation, and that's what makes the game so subjective.
I agree with Pete. There's nothing wrong in terms of the law. I get that. But I think
if we just look at that, again, but only through the shoulder barge, right? Imagine you haven't seen the first one.
It's never a yellow.
Imagine. I think you're looking at it through the context of what happened. I think if this game was going on now. Yeah. And you just saw this, and a ref gave a yellow, I don't think you can complain.
You got 5 blue shirts to get past.
So in the Burnley-Man United game, the defender, I think it was Tarkowski, shoulder barge somebody in the box. Yeah. And no penalty was given. Yeah, but
it's just subjective stuff, though, isn't it?
There you go, but that's the short. Come on, that's not a yellow card.
I don't think the whole situation is a wrong one. I don't think Michael Oliver will get reprimanded. I think a lot of people will say, hang on a minute, he's done the right thing there. I would have given a yellow as an over round of both hours, I would have given a yellow. But I don't think that any of us can sit here and say none of them were definite yellow cards. It is a promising attack. Don't get me wrong, he's not hurt him. There's people between, but that's why it wasn't a straight red, because there's a lot of people behind the ball and whatever, between the ball and the goal. So I don't think it's.
And you'd have given an overall yellow because it happened so close together, right?
Yes.
But when we see a studs-up tackle...
But if they happened in isolation...
I was just going to say,
you've got common sense.
If they happened in isolation, though, and that second one, I'd be going, oh, he's lucky. He's lucky to stay on. He's on a yellow when he's done that. He's running towards goal, promising attack. I'm thinking it's lucky.
Common sense. In the Manchester United-Middlesbrough game in the FA Cup, common sense, the referee blows his whistle, that goal should be ruled out. The handball for Middlesbrough. Common sense. Anybody can watch that game. We're all sitting watching it. That's handball. Yeah. But the letter of the law says, because Watmore passed it, to the goal scorer. Yeah. If Watmore put the ball in the back of the net, the goal's ruled out by the letter of the law. But because he didn't score, but common sense, that is handball. That's common sense. That's never a second yellow.
But Rob, this is football, and common sense doesn't come into it anymore when we're making decisions.
Yeah. I think
that's what it seems
we
like.
see a real nasty tackle 5 seconds into a game, and then Peter might say, well, the ref didn't want to give a red card so early in the match, and you would all go, it's got nothing to do with it. If it's a red card tackle, it's a red card tackle. I think Michael is right that if he was already on a yellow from 10 minutes ago...
I've never said that.
People say it all the time. I think if it was a yellow and he just did that shoulder barge 10 minutes later and got a red, I don't think any of you would be saying that.
I'd go, it's harsh. I think you'd sit here and go, it's harsh.
Is Peter still there?
He might have gone home. Peter?
No, I'm still here. Peter, but
enjoying the chat.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Peter. I'm sure I've heard you and other referees say the second yellow has to be a greater tolerance level than the first yellow card. Therefore, give it a red card. Am I right?
Well, you're not wrong, but what I mean by that is that it's got to be a card that you can sell to the rest of the world, basically.
I'm right, Peter.
and for me there, Michael's right what he's saying, by the way.
Oh, because he's agreeing with you almost.
If you take it in isolation, it's a yellow card all day long. Just because it's the second yellow card in quite quick proximity doesn't mean to say that Michael Oliver then should say, oh, no, I'm not going to give you that one. Look, Martinelli's the fault here, not the referee. It's Martinelli's fault for being so petulant in his manner of play.
What's a promising attack then? What does that equate to? Can you just explain what a promising attack is? Because there's five or six bodies waiting to defend this phase of play.
You've seen many times where the right winger, the left winger takes on the fullback, goes past the fullback. He's going into oceans of space there to create that promising attack, and he's fouled. That deserves a yellow card because you're stopping a promising attack. In this
instance, past the winger, not the fullback. He still had a fullback to beat, I think. Yeah,
but he could whip the ball over, couldn't he, Rio? There's opposite. Look at the space he's got to move into, and so the referees take that into consideration. And Martinelli does not play for the ball at all. He goes straight through the back of him. And he's not even attempting to play the ball. It's not as if you can say he's tried to nick the ball from him. He hasn't. He's just pushed him in the back. It's a clear yellow card.
Should we be talking a bit more about Martinelli's actions rather than the referees?
Well, you didn't ask about him, did you?
Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll look at it and he'll learn from it. And it is, petulant. And you've got to understand where you are in the game as well and manage yourself in those situations.
I think half the time, though, as a player... If you think, I'm going to get a yellow card for one I've just done, and
got a free hit,
you feel as if you got a free hit because he's never going to give me 2 yellow cards like he's just done.
Never been seen in football.
No, exactly.
Never been seen in football. But he's right.
That might make people players now think about it. They haven't got a free hit. But I think there'll be viewers. I think viewers will be split.
I think it happened in a game early in the season at City. Was it when somebody got 2 yellow cards in space of 30 seconds when they brought him down for a free kick and they blocked it?
But it's.
The Wolves, Jimenez.
That's right.
Jimenez, we were there, we done it.
Yeah,
that was a game.
Yeah, I wasn't there and I knew about that. So.
Interesting.
Thanks, Pete, anyway.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed for that. Just want to leave you with one thing. Look it up, 2015. Poor old Chris Baird, playing a Euro qualifier for Northern Ireland, gets sent off for 2 cautionable offence in the same phase of play against Hungary. So it's not without precedence.
Very good.
Thank you.
Love that.
There you go.
Cheers.
I wonder who told Peter about that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pete. See you later.